I want to take a look at a special kind of title called the scroll. This is what you would use to make like a scrolling credit at the end of the film, or the beginning of the film, in the middle of the film, scrolling. It's a little bit different than the other titles that we've used before, so let's have a look. Here I have a video that's just one I did earlier. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just we're going to pretend this is our video, and at the end is where we're going to put the credits. So I'll go into my effects here, go into titles, and here at the top is scroll. And with the titles, as you can see, if you scrub your mouse across the headline here, or the listing, it will show you what the title does. So I'm going to drag that across, put it here at the end, zoom in at the end here, give myself a little bit of room, and make it a bit longer. So that would be a little over a minute for that scroll. Now, with the other title, you have a text box area where you put the text for the title. What I'm going to do is grab some credits that I've written here, select all, copy, come back over to my credits here and paste. Now, you can see that it starts at the bottom and scrolls up to the top. There's some controls here in let's make it, you can see some of this here. So there's some basic text controls, like you can control the size and the color. I'm going to leave it at white. You can control the justification, just like you can with other kinds of text. And you can change where it is anchored, which there's reasons you would do that, but we'll get into that later. You can also add a drop shadow and a background. I'm not going to use those right now. And then in the settings tab here, you have your normal kind of transform and other settings. So let's first of all make room for these titles. That's something that we do every now and then. Here, I'm going to cut the tail end of this video off, then give myself a little space before the titles and make a trim. So I've now separated the end of the video off, and I'm going to go into the video selected, not the title. I'm going to go into transform here, and I'm going to make a keyframe for zoom and position XY. That's all we need to do there. I'm not changing it, just making a keyframe. And I'm going to go to the beginning of the title, and now here I'm going to change the zoom, make the video smaller, and move it off to the side. Maybe not quite that small. Like that. Give ourselves a little bit of a border. Now, it's tempting to use the size of this text as kind of a measure. That may or may not work, and you'll see why later. So now, the movie, whatever the ending scene is, move off to the side and make room for the credits. A little cheap, but we'll got to start somewhere. So now this is too close to the edge, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the title itself and also move it a little bit away from the edge. There we go. And now we play. There's an issue here, though. It's going a little bit slow for me. Going a little slow for you? Well, fortunately, you can see, get to the end there. There's a couple of things we can do. We can either make the title shorter, so if we grab the end here and we move it back, it'll squeeze that same amount of text into the same amount of time, so it'll go by faster. It's a little faster. Let's make it even shorter here. And yeah, it starts going by fast enough that it's even difficult to read. But I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take this back out a ways, go back into the text here, and you can see here I have written by, then some spaces, ChatGPT, then spaces, and Siri, and by, and that's so ChatGPT, Siri, and my cousin Willie all get to be on the screen by themselves without another name. ChatGPT gives it a little bit more focus, and Siri, and by good old Willie so helpful in writing these things. So what we could do is go through this example and find where I haven't put spaces in. Like here I have no spaces because I want this to go by the production team to be together as they go through. But towards the end here, there we go. Towards the end here, I just have things right next to each other. So boom operator, gaffer, Samwise's dad, grip none, have to get one. Got to get a grip. Edited by, so then we could add some spaces here. Occam's razor, add some spaces, music by, earring sound, mixed by earring sound, ear, ring. You can't take me anywhere. Color by numbers. Directed by. Okay, now directed by is going to really, want to have the director be on the page by themselves. So you can add a bunch of carriage returns there. Now you see how it's difficult to edit in this little space. That's why I did the titles in text edit. So I could just have easily have gone in here and redone the spacing and recopied it over. But we did it in here, and now you can see, all right, moving a little bit faster with the extra spaces that we put in. Of course, we're going to run into an issue fairly shortly, and that is there. It's going to overlap. Easy enough to fix. Let's see if we can find it in this scroll. And the long title, I tell you, it gets to be a mess trying to keep track of it. So here's almost a production company. We'll go ahead and get rid of the space between those two words, carriage return, and now it's no longer overlapping. We'll keep going through here. High string special effects, casting by Food for Friends. Wardrobe by Salvation Army Rangers. There it is. That's a little bit too long. So we can put the carriage return in there. Carefully scrolling through here. That all looks okay. Magic arm is a little close. Ooh, springy arm thingy. Boy, that's just not too good. So here we go. Boom operator, springing arm thingy. We'll just put springing arm thingy on its own line. And now, that's close, but that's all right. Edited by, Occam's razor, mixed by, earring sound, color by numbers, directed by, chance serendipity. It could be a real name. And then as it exits the screen, let's go ahead and fade out whatever stuff we have going on in the background. I just hit Control T to make a fade, and it will make it longer. I'll drag it out to where the name is going by. Maybe as the name hits the middle, we'll start fading out. There you go. A very simple way of putting end credits at the end of your film. Key things to remember, it's much easier to write out the credits in something like text edit where you actually have spell check, that kind of thing, because you don't have any of that in the scroll editor. And it's even easier to go back into the scroll editor to add carriage returns where you might need them. So that's end credits and the scroll title effect in DaVinci Resolve. It's in the free version and the paid version, so give it a try. Thanks for coming along. Catch you next time.